Now, speaking of making pussies run, a lot of people probably think we should have gave up on this show by now. But just like Batman, we refuse to go down.
He didn't refuse. DC was like, "You are not going down, Batman."
Yeah, so this was a story this week where so apparently it was the Harley Quinn animated show, right? Like they're making I think season 3, and apparently they wanted to put some gag in where Batman was going to be going down on Catwoman, but DC pushed back and said no. Is that what the story was?
Yeah, they said that wasn't going to happen. And then Zack Snyder released a photo on Twitter of
I saw that
fan art or something.
He said it was canon. Pretty good fan art. I thought it was made for the show.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
I don't know where it came from.
I'm guessing now there's a bunch of deviant art of Batman going down on Catwoman.
Probably, man.
Oh, there's probably been God knows what. Poison Ivy. I don't know what people have probably done with her imagery.
Yeah, you got the whole Rule 34. I'm sure it's out there.
Oh yeah, it's got to be. What do you guys think about that, though? Do you think? Because it's a comedy show. Yeah. They're already making fun of villains and stuff. As long as the show's that tone, is it a big deal to make a joke like that? Really?
I don't think so at all. I thought it fit the tone perfectly.
Yeah, you can kind of write off stuff that's happening in other universes and stuff. So I don't know, but. They want it to be a kid-safe character,
but it's not a kid's show. I feel like.
Well, that's not a kid's show. That's an R-rated show.
Yeah,
but Batman himself.
Oh, yeah. Maybe they don't want to taint him.
So, do you think they would let a lesser villain be a pussy eater, a Plastic Man joke or something?
Yeah. If it was the Joker, the Croc, or something, they'd probably be like, "Yeah, go ahead."
Yeah. It's not a bad thing, though. We give it such a negative context, but it's not a bad thing. I don't know.
I'd just like to say I'm firmly against cuddling.
But totally in favor of anal language.
I'm divorced, by the way.
So that's what happened.
Oh, God. I started watching Harley Quinn just now, recently.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I watched, because of my back pain, I couldn't get up, and I was like, all right, movie time. And, so just for the viewers at home, I tweaked my back, and I couldn't move for a while, and I started watching Shazam. I watched Birds of Prey, and I watched, of course, the new Loki, and I watched the Harley Quinn animated series. So I really got into DC. I gotta talk about this. You guys watched Birds of Prey, right?
Yeah, we watched it in theater.
We watched that.
I just the one time
we watched in theaters.
Yeah,
I don't hate that movie. It was a fun movie. It's just that it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I found it just a little bit too cartoony myself.
Yeah, it was cartoony. When she walks in that police station with that fake gun and all the cops don't kill her immediately, I was like, no way. And she goes back there and frees all the... And they kept the little girl prisoner with all these grown men. I was like, no, man, come on.
Wasn't there also some big fight scenes where did everybody have guns and stuff, and she's just running around hitting people with the hammers or something?
Yeah, at the end, and Rosie Perez, who's already shown to be drunk and can't fight, fights off all these people. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it was definitely a little ridiculous. It makes sense.
And also, just so this is in the same universe where she was Harley Quinn in the Suicide Squad movie, which wasn't good either, obviously. But that movie, just the actions and stuff seemed a lot more it was in a much more realistic world than Birds of Prey, which was just totally Looney Tunes by the end of it, And I did not care for that.
Yeah, you definitely had to suspend your belief for Harley Quinn. But the girl Margot Robbie, what's her name? Margot?
Yeah, Margot Robbie.
She's good.
She's good. Yeah, I just don't like anything they did with it, really.
But I'd like to see her in future, Harley Quinn stuff. I hope she sticks around. the Joker, I didn't see any of the previous movies with like Suicide Squad, so I don't know if they showed like her previous relationship with Joker or who it's gonna be in the future.
They did a little bit in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I didn't watch those.
But I mean,
was that the Jared Leto?
Yeah, but I mean, his overall screen time, I think, in that movie, someone said is like, less than 5 minutes or something. He's,
It's a blip.
so yeah, it's.
But
man,
they're making something with him in the future. Or are they going with Robert Pattinson or Ben Affleck? How are they going with Batman?
Well, I think, and I hope so.
Not Robert Pattinson. Sorry.
I think the Robert Pattinson Batman movie is supposed to be like not shared universe, like in its own, continuity, which I hope is true. Yeah. But there's always a chance if that movie's really successful, they'll go, oh well, let's make him the new Batman and combine. That kind of shit does happen. I hope that doesn't though. Yeah, because man, DC. Like, I imagine eventually they'll get their shit together and start having more hits than misses, but...
I don't know, man, because Snyder himself said that DC's built different from Marvel. They're like, we're not doing all that continuity stuff. Like, ours is all about, like, having separate things and, like, having your own, like, one-off stories about it, whereas Marvel's all about, like, integrating this whole cinematic universe.
Well... I think they just need to pick a lane. Like if they want to just do like each movie containing its own universe, like I'm fine with that. That's the way they always did it before the MCU was a thing. But if they actually want to do the shared universe thing, like they tried to do, then they need to reorganize and be more like Marvel. I think.
I saw I saw Shazam, which was corny a lot of the time, but it was an okay movie.
Yeah, I saw that one too. It's fine.
Yeah, they do kind of make the whole he's part of that universe where there's a Batman, Superman, and all that, and then Superman even shows up at the end.
Right.
So I'm not sure, but it seems like they're maybe building towards that. I don't know if Shazam's ever going to be included in the future projects where Batman and Superman are doing their own thing, but I mean, they mentioned Black Adam at the beginning of the movie, didn't they, in Shazam? Where he's like, we gave another guy these powers to be our champion, but he ended up getting revenge on people, and not using...
I mean, I only saw it once, but that wouldn't surprise me because, like, Black Adam and Shazam are kind of in the same comic, and, like, that same kind of mythology. So it wouldn't surprise me if they did mention him in that. But, yeah, I don't... Like, DC, they keep announcing, like, new projects, but, I feel like they either need to put an end to, like, their shared world continuity, or they need to, like, just say, hey, there's a multiverse. We're putting an end to these movies you didn't like, but maybe we'll carry over people like Gal Gadot or people you do like into a new continuity. Yeah. Because it sounds like with this Flash movie that they're making, that they are going to introduce the multiverse, and they're going to have, Michael Keaton as Batman, in it. So, they have the storytelling potential with that to kind of wipe the slate clean if they wanted to, but I don't know if that's what they're going to do or not.
Too bad Adam West is gone.
I know.
90-year-old Batman.
It actually would be. It would be cool to have an Adam West.
He'd be all slow and everything.
He'd just have a quick cameo of him
where he dies.
He shoots the back grapple or whatever. That's it. You don't see anything.
I guess with the face technology, they could splice him in probably.
Yeah, I mean, they did that with Princess Leia, right?
Yeah, they had to put her in, right?
Mm-hmm. Star Wars.
Well, I mean, I think they probably did do that a little bit, but I know they had shot like a lot of footage for the second to last movie that they never used. So like some of that they were able to repurpose for the last movie. Okay. But yeah, I'm guessing in parts of it they probably did have to do that. Mm-hmm. And then of course, like at the end of what was it, Rogue One, they had to make like a computerized version of her because she was like younger.
Yeah, with the DC realm, like I'm thinking like if they can just get like the whole team like situated, like the Justice League. You know, they're slowly trying to add people to it and get everybody together. If they can like really ramp up towards like a matchup with Darkseid, that would be. I mean, look, I'm in for that. You know, you take my money, I'll watch that for sure.
I mean, if they actually want to do an MCU thing and have a shared world, here's what I would do. If he was on board for it, I would actually have Zack Snyder come back and say, hey, we're making the Snyder Cut canon. Now you're going to finish this universe with, you know, Justice League Part 2, basically, with Darkseid's story. And you basically just, in that movie, you introduce, there's a multiverse, and, like, at the end of that movie, that universe is basically done away with. We're in a new one. Any of the actors that are willing to come over that people like Gal Gadot can come over, but maybe since, you know, Ben Affleck's not coming back, you can be like, oh, but now this guy is Batman in this universe. You know, you could do something like that and wipe the slate clean, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I don't know. Let's see, what have I been watching? Just more of the Expanse. I finished season 4.
Dang, good for you. How many episodes are there in each season?
So, like, the first 2 or 3 seasons, I think there's like 13 or 14 episodes a season. And then the last 2, there's 10 episodes.
Okay.
But I do notice this. It's not like a one-for-one comparison because it is very different. But I do think the show kind of has Game of Thrones elements. Because, like, you have these competing, like, factions. You got Earth, Mars, and then the Belter group. Like, and then you have, like, all these, like, just like Game of Thrones, like a really large cast and, like, you know, all these people like caught in the middle. And then you kind of even have like this kind of alien threat that could be seen as like that could have the potential to destroy everybody, kind of like the White Walkers, you know? So, like, again, it's not like a one-for-one, but I just kind of notice like it has some of those elements, I guess.
But what came out first, Expanse or Game of Thrones?
I think, well, show-wise, Game of Thrones. I know The Expanse is based on some novels, but I mean, the Game of Thrones novels came out forever ago, right?
Well, some of them.
Well, yeah, like the first one. I don't know when the guy that wrote The Expanse started
They'll
writing.
end forever from now.
I'm guessing Game of Thrones came first.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm
It
enjoying
must cost
that.
a fortune to make that show, then, to have all those actors and stuff. The Expanse.
I don't know, because like the first 3 seasons were done by the Sci-Fi Channel, so I wouldn't think that they would have like a crazy budget. And then I think they like canceled it, but then it was luckily picked up by Amazon for these latest 2 seasons. But it looks good. Man, I will say, like, on this new OLED TV I have, like, anytime there's a scene in space, like either like an establishing shot of like a, you know, one of the spaceships going through space, or sometimes they have like battles in space, it looks really fucking cool.
Yeah, because OLED TVs have like the deepest blacks, I heard.
Yeah, that could be it.
You like those deep blacks?
You're going to want those deep blacks.
Oh, man.
The deeper, the better.